and destroyed our sacred temples. And there is one Alamgir, the minister of JMM government in Jharkhand, who looted the poor. All right, more breaking news coming in. India's bid for Olympics is coming to light as IOA has formally submitted the letter of intent to host the 2036 Olympic Games. The Indian Olympics Association has submitted letter of intent to host the 2036 Summer Games. India has sent this letter of intent to host the Games. Big breaking news that has just come in, and we are trying to get further details, rather content of what the letter states. But yes, India has officially submitted a letter of intent to the International Olympics Committee, advancing its bid to host the Summer Olympics in 2036. Hosting the Olympics is a luxury that many countries want to have, and it also draws attention from across the world. Travel increases, and most importantly, the presence of India on the international scene as it strengthens the nation's culture and mingling with the other nations, the occasion that promotes national pride and solidarity, as well as stimulates economic development and infrastructural improvement. Now we are learning that India has reportedly made an official bid to host the Olympics in 2036, significantly advancing the bid process. Indian Olympic Association has sent a letter of intent to the International Olympic Committee. Although a formal statement is yet to be issued, we are learning that the letter has been submitted, and according to sources, India is preparing to host the elite worldwide athletic event before 2050. So 2036 is when India is aiming to host the Olympics, and the letter of intent to this effect has been sent across. We'll have my colleague join us shortly to take us through the details of what the letter states. Remember, this is what we're learning from our sources, who have told Republic that the IOA has acceded the letter of intent to host the 2036 Summer Olympics. In fact, the letter has been officially submitted. And details that we were getting you earlier of how UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath hit out JMM government using the Aurangzeb analogy and accused the Soren government of looting the poor of the state. Yogi said, and I quote, "There was one Aurangzeb who looted the country and destroyed our sacred temples, and there is one Alamgir, minister of JMM government here in Jharkhand, who looted the poor of the state, and bundles of cash were recovered from his house and his relatives' house." Listen in.
एक आलमगीर आलम थे, औरंगजेब, देश को लूटा था उसने, देश के पवित्र मंदिरों को नष्ट किया था उसने। और दूसरा, झारखंड मुक्ति मोर्चा का भी तो एक मंत्री था आलमगीर, जो यहां लूट करके जिसके घरों में नोटों की गड्डियां के गरीबों के झारखंड वासियों का पैसा उसके घरों में कैसे नोट की गड्डियां उसके नौकरों और उसके परिवार के अन्य लोगों के घरों में किस रूप में पड़ी हुई थी। ये लूट का इससे दूसरा घटिया स्तर और दूसरा देखा नहीं जा सकता।
All right, and while Yogi has drawn that analogy, we also take a quick check of all that is making news across the globe in our next international news wrap. Amid the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, smoke was seen billowing over the skyline in Beirut. In recent months, the fighting between Israel and Hezbollah has intensified and has led to over 3,000 deaths, more than 13,000 injuries in Lebanon over the past 13 months. The violence intensified after Hamas's surprise attack on Israel on the 7th of October 2023, which led to Hezbollah launching rockets into northern Israel. The conflict has escalated with heavy Israeli airstrikes on southern and eastern Lebanon, causing hundreds of deaths and displacing more than 1 million people. A Russian Soyuz rocket successfully launched two Iranian satellites called Kovsar and Horod, marking the first private sector launch for Iran. The launch is part of growing cooperation between Moscow and Tehran, which has expanded in various areas, including the suspected provision of drones for Russia's war in Ukraine. The successful satellite deployment follows a series of setbacks in Iran's civil space program, including multiple failed launches. While Iran insists its space program is purely for civilian purposes, US officials have expressed concerns that the technology could be used to advance Iran's intercontinental ballistic missile capabilities, heightening fears over the country's nuclear ambitions.